Hi guys, it's Adam here from Blend Commerce. Hope you're well. Welcome to our webinar today with Cassia from Loyalty Line, who joins me as well. We're going to be taking you through some ways today on today's webinar of how to think about loyalty and retention, but not necessarily thinking about it in the way that you may have thought before. So Cassia, welcome to the webinar. Thanks for co-hosting with me.
Thanks, Adam. I'm really looking forward to talking about loyalty and retention today.
Excellent. Well, I mean, look, I think probably is a good place to start, Cassia, if we kind of think, I guess, give a bit of introduction about both of ourselves. And guys, look, from my perspective, we've been working with Shopify merchants now for probably about sort of 3 or 4 years. And I think from my point of view, when it comes to thinking about loyalty or thinking about loyalty programs, a lot of the time when we initially have that conversation with Shopify merchants, the initial thought is, okay, loyalty and retention, it's all about offering a discount when they sign up. It's all about offering them a discount if they haven't purchased for 30 days. And I think, one of the interesting things from my point of view is that I don't necessarily think that's the case. I mean, what's your sort of take on that, Cassia, from your perspective?
Yeah, I totally agree. Many merchants think that loyalty programs can only be used for discounting, but this is not true. And our research actually showed that over half of the customers would sign up to a loyalty program if they were offered experience-based rewards. So that shows that loyalty programs can be used not only for discounting, but also for building relationships with your customers, creating brand community, and also improving customer experience.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting what you were saying there, about sort of building that relationship. And I think, when we often talk to Shopify merchants, I always try and get them to think about their online stores like a brick and mortar store. And, I'm sure many of you listening, you've probably got that local favorite coffee shop. You've got maybe that local favorite clothing store, that bookshop that you always visit. And if you think about that context, you're not loyal necessarily to those businesses because every time you go in, you get a discount. You're loyal to that person because of the relationship you've got with them, the actual people that you meet and that you interact with. And I think that's the thing that we, a lot of the time, I think probably need to think about a lot more in e-commerce is that, essentially that shopping experience you're having online, that relationship that you form needs to try and mirror that as much as you possibly can with a brick and mortar business. And I think what's interesting, a lot of those companies that we work with that have brick and mortar businesses as well as an online business, it's still very challenging for them to be able to implement something that works in the same way, even though day in, day out, they still actually have that obviously relationship. So I think it's an interesting day. You focus on the relationship part, which I thought was a good point.
Yeah, I totally agree, definitely.
I mean, the thing is then, Cassie, so if we think about that kind of relationship idea and alternative ways of working, I think what would be great today is that if you could kind of take us through some specific examples of actually how we can do that as a Shopify merchant, sort of rather than going down that straight or that discounting route.
Yeah, definitely. So I have prepared a short presentation here. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so the first tactic, and probably the most popular one as well, is rewarding customers with free products. So what that means, you can gift your customers with free products instead of just discounts. First of all, it gives you an opportunity to provide more value to your customers. And second of all, it's something that I've always been saying during my customer success times to our merchants during onboardings, that it's just a great way for managing your inventory more effectively, because you can either promote new products or encourage purchases of the ones that are not selling really well. So how does it work within Loyalty Lion? We have a feature called Seamless Free Products, and it lets your customers claim products with their points. So should we go to a real example?
Yeah, that would be great. Perfect.
So there we go. One of our merchants, Waterdrop, is using this feature. So you can see their their loyalty program here. And once we scroll down to the rewards, you can see that they offer only really high value products like water bottles, bags, cups, etc. So essentially all the products that can be purchased can be also claimed with points.
Because I think what I like about this example as well is that it's, you know, you're showing here you actually have a choice, don't you, of the free products that you can get.
Exactly.
And I think it's that meaningful product rather than it kind of being, you know, look, just you know, maybe a really low cost, you know, canvas bag or t-shirt. And I think perhaps that can work. I know we've had clients in the past that have gone on that route, but almost sort of having them feel like there is a shop for these free items, I think that's a really great thing and makes that customer feel really valuable, which I really like.
Yeah, I agree. And we see that customers are actually collecting all the points to get these really high value rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And the second example I have is a Skinny Dip. As you can see, they've also built a really beautiful loyalty page. And what they've done here, they offer free product rewards, but also discounts. So you can really mix and match depending on the strategy.
Mm. And I think the other thing with this as well is that there's that clear kind of signposting and roadmap for the customer, isn't there? In that visually they can see the benefits that they can then work through.
Yeah.
It's not sort of a, you know, a random, okay, here's a free gift. It is, okay, if you get to that level, you get to this tier, you can then get this product and then that product. And I think that I know it's not sort of gamification, but it's that idea that the customer can work through those to get to them, and it's almost giving them something valuable that they want to get to, which is then encouraging that loyalty.
Exactly, especially, you know, the more times they're coming back, the better rewards they can get.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And what I wanted to show you as well is how you can build on that feature to increase reward redemption and average order value. So within Loyalty Lion, you can encourage your customers to use their points straight in the cart. Again, should we go through the live
Yeah, I think
demo?
really good to see it, absolutely.
Okay, so there we go. That's Pacifica Beauty. They sell natural beauty products. And let's say I'm a customer, I've gone, picked my products, and now I'm in the cart. And what you can see here is the widget with the rewards that I can claim with my points. And this is called Incut Rewards. So can you see how it provides a seamless way of redeeming my points straight in the cart?
Absolutely. Because I think that's, you know, the biggest thing, isn't it, with loyalty, and it's making sure that, yes, obviously people collect the points, but it's also about redeeming them so people see the value. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes, you know, if you don't think this far out, you know, the discounting thing seems easy, but it's actually not effective, because if you're not, you don't have that ability to use this just for a discount, or I guess you could, but it's not going to be as effective. Whereas here, it's that straight away, look, you're giving us more value straight away. We can see that it's obtainable, it's easy to get hold of. So yeah, this is a really neat solution.
Yeah, definitely. It's great for increasing reward redemption because it is part of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one is called Incut Rewards, and actually this feature can be used together with instant points. And what that means is that we will credit customer with points for all their items in their cart immediately. So let's say, okay, so I can add these 3 products, but if I really want this body butter tube, why not add one more product that I will probably be using anyways. And now I have enough points to actually get this product with my next order. So can you see how it increases average order value instantly?
Absolutely. And I think, again, you know, from my point of view, thinking about conversations, you know, we have about loyalty and retention, a lot of the time the thought doesn't actually go to AOV. The initial thought, I think, tends to be, and probably know if you're listening, is that, you probably think, look, well, actually, AOV is not something that I was considering before. It was more actually about that general repeat purchase rate. But I guess, like you're saying there, Cashier, is that this is a great thing about having a program where you're not using discounting, is that giving that product, it helps you with the AOV. And I guess the other thing as well is that, from a cost perspective, because obviously, look, being realistic, automatically shaving off that 10 or 20%, it feels harder. But obviously, I guess when you're looking at the cost of these products from a cost price and then attributing that over the value of the cart, I guess a lot of the time, actually, the true cost of administering this tends to be a lot less than that 10 or 20% that you would have been giving away anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you have the products that are really low margin, this is a much more cost-effective way for using a loyalty program.
Absolutely. Okay, great. I mean, I think the thing is I guess the other option here is that you've got another sort of example you can show us of how you can sort of, again, not necessarily using discounting as the main tactic.
Yeah, so the second one is rewarding positive behaviors. So you can use the loyalty program to do that. And so a huge e-commerce trend in 2020 is that customers are practicing conscious consumerism. So they choose to spend more with brands that care about a bigger picture. And you can actually use that within your loyalty program. So again, I want to go to a couple of examples to show you what I mean. So again, one of our merchants who's using our program, Plum Goodness, they offer 500 points to the customers who return the packaging to their store.
Okay.
I mean, this is just great. Not only creative, but also you can see that the values are aligned with the customer and the store.
Absolutely. And I think this here as well, if we think about kind of, particularly high street brands in the UK, the likes of, H&M, I think, other kind of clothing brands are doing this where they are getting people to kind of recycle in store. It's taking that kind of, that brick and mortar style of loyalty, and you're then just using that in an online capacity, aren't you, here, which, as the general consumer can then associate that and say, oh, okay, yeah, it feels like I'm just shopping with a normal, sort of brick and mortar store.
Exactly. And yeah, I do have one other example of that's Edgar and Cooper. Again, they've built a really cool program. So you can see they're not calling them points, but belly wraps, which I really love. But what they've done, they offer their customers an ability to exchange their points for completing positive actions, like giving a meal for a shelter dog or planting a tree. So you can see that these are not discounts. So the customers will come back to this store because their values are aligned and not because they're offering them money off or percentage off.
Absolutely. And I guess the other thing as well is, that having these different approaches, so that the kind of the free gift or the kind of the charity donation part. I guess the other thing is, that if you were starting out with your loyalty program, I guess you could test all of those, couldn't you, in terms of the offer of them, and then kind of seeing which ones then attributed the greatest uplift in AOV or the greatest amount of repeat purchase. And I guess kind of just the A/B testing, split testing that you would do with anything on your Shopify store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You can check, which ones are the most redeemable, etc., and then you can change it all around. So definitely a lot of room for testing.
And Kasia, do you find that with kind of brands that are taking the two approaches you looked at so far, do you tend to find particular types of businesses or particular sort of product focused businesses go down either one of those routes? When obviously we looked at Skinny Dip initially. So, do you find that kind of, beauty brands go down more on the free product route, or are there kind of examples where, very different kind of businesses will go down the free products and also the kind of donation route as well?
To be honest, I can see more and more brands, no matter what industry, asking, is this possible to offer, donations or, any type of rewards or activities like this. So we have here pet store. That's, something you would never think that they'll offer things like this. The other one we showed, the beauty brand, you said the Incut Rewards and free products, but actually what they also offer, if we go to the rewards page, they also give their customers points for recycling.
Yeah.
So you can see that it doesn't matter the industry or the products they sell, everyone is trying to get into that trend, really, and show that they care, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I suppose, in terms of making a decision on if you were looking at these two routes, I guess there isn't that necessity to kind of make a decision straight away. And what your guest is saying is that it's purely dependent on your preference, I guess, as the business owner, isn't it, as to what you want to give? Because ultimately, both of these are going to have, the same effect. It just depends on your demographic, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's using your points towards a charity. It helps you to build this emotional connection with the customer, and they'll just remember you, right? Because everyone offers discounts, but when it's something different, there is a higher chance you will be remembered as a brand and the customer will come back.
Absolutely. And I think, if I know we're kind of going off sort of topic a little bit here, but from the point of view of kind of launching a loyalty program on this way, is the launch, would you say, more important than kind of the gentle drip feed of once we become a customer? Or would you say that kind of, using this sort of advertising the program that you've got is an actual solid marketing tactic as well?
Definitely solid marketing tactic. So we see that being, on the front of the pages, rather than, we offer you £5 or $5 off, by joining the program, you can donate to a charity or a dog shelter, etc. And, this is much more interesting than just discounts nowadays.
Okay, great. I think also you're maybe going to show us another example as well of kind of, again, another tactic.
Yeah. So I do have one more. So the third one would be using the loyalty program to building brand ambassadors. So a loyalty program can also be used to help you show your most loyal customers that you value them. So with time, they will become your brand ambassadors, and then they'll start referring new shoppers. So first of all, you actually need to identify them. So the most loyal customers are the ones with the highest lifetime value and highest average order value. And then with a loyalty program, you can give this segment extra perks, so you can show that you value them. Again, should I show you in a couple of examples?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we have Capshi here, one of the biggest brands on Shopify Plus. Again, they've built a really sophisticated loyalty program. And what you can see they've done with their tiers, to their top tier, they offer a lot more benefits. But these would be their most loyal customers. And some of the extra perks are priority customer service or exclusive member events. So you can see how these are not discounts. This is something different.
Absolutely. And how, if you were kind of talking to a brand and they were thinking, obviously, going the brand ambassador route here, what would you say are the important things to consider when you do this? Because, my initial thought with this is that, look, I think it's great, but it seems like there would be a lot more kind of administration in here. And also, making sure that you are, I guess with these guys as well, making sure that you are picking the right people. So there are any kind of word of warnings with this particular strategy?
I mean, you should be definitely focusing on the most loyal customers, because they usually about 20% of your top loyal customers give you over half of your revenue. So even if it does add up, some of the administration and setting up the strategies only for this segment, it will definitely pay off. And a lot of these exclusive member events, etc., these can be all automated on the background, so you can easily segment these customers and just send them different campaigns.
Excellent. Okay, great. And do you think there's, in terms of using, sort of brand ambassador approach here, are there any brands that you know of that kind of mix the two together, in that obviously, you kind of got this approach here, but I guess what you could do as well is that you could also offer free product as part of the tiers on here as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. So you can give them, maybe only to this top tier, you can offer this specific free product that is not available for anyone else. So this will give me, this will encourage customers to spend a little bit more to get to that top tier faster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I really like the examples there, and I think, look, it's nice to kind of, I think, break it down, isn't it, and look at the different approaches you can take. So I think, look, what we'll do, Kasia, for this point is that I'd just obviously like to say, look, thank you ever so much for coming onto the webinar today and giving us a breakdown and a run through of the different tactics. I think what the plan is to do is that obviously after today, we're going to be sending across to you some really useful resources that you can basically use in terms of loyalty and retention. And Kasia, I'd just like to hand it to you in terms of saying, look, from your perspective, what are the sort of next steps that you would recommend to the viewers for today's webinar?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much, Adam, for having me as your guest today. I hope everyone listening found it helpful. But for everyone who is listening, what I want you to do is look at your current loyalty program and see if you can either allow your customers to claim free products with the points they have available, or give them ability to use the points towards a positive action, like donating to a charity. And also look at your most loyal customers and see if you can offer them some of these extra perks to make them feel special. And for anyone who would like to see how a loyalty program can benefit their store, you can go to info.loyaltyland.com/loyalty business case, and you can build your personalized loyalty program in a couple of minutes.
Excellent. And I would just kind of second that, Kasia, that is, it's a great resource, and one that we use here at Blend to recommend clients to go and take a look at Loyalty Lion, just to kind of think about how it could actually work in reality. Okay, great. Well, look, thanks again, Kasia, and thanks everyone for obviously tuning into this webinar today. If you've got any questions as well, do feel free to email us in response to the email you're going to receive shortly after this webinar. And we'll be back soon on our next webinar, and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. Bye.